started a challenge for myself. I always complain about not having enough time to sew because I'm so busy. I am a mom. I am a coach, assistant coach sometimes. I have a full-time job. And I have a kid. She plays sports and I take her to a lot of practices. So I always say that I don't have time to sew or do anything for myself really, and that's been true because I make it true. So with this challenge, I'm trying to prioritize myself, and I am committing to sew at least 15 minutes every day. Ideally would like to be for life, but at least for a year. So I started on my birthday on Tuesday, and today is day 5. So 5 days in a row, and I must honestly say this is probably the longest sewing run I've had in a while, and I've only been doing 15 minutes. I've been live every day. I've only been doing 15 minutes a day, and I've gotten so much farther than I would have without this challenge. I tend to pick up projects every couple of months, sew for maybe 2 to 3 days, and I'll put it down for another 2 months. This week, with 15 minutes a day, I am honestly the most consistent progression I've made in a project in a while, which is crazy to think about because it's only 15 minutes a day. So today we are sewing the Liliana vest. Is what I've been working on all week. It is a project that I started back in 2025 Met Gala during the Super Fine Dandy. I will look up that theme one day. But super fine tailoring with the black dandy, I designed an outfit because I didn't like how I didn't like the effort that was put forth that year. So I was like, I'm gonna design an outfit. So I designed an outfit. I have all the fabric and stuff. I just prolonged putting it together to making the outfit. I've done the shirt. It is a sheer gold and cream stripe button-up shirt, and I am currently working on the vest. It is a mock-up. It's the Liliana vest. It is a mock-up. So after I do this vest and I fit it, then I'll go to the actual vest. And the issue I'm kind of having is I have all these projects in my head, and I haven't been able to work on them because I really want to focus on this vest, or I don't want to keep starting projects and not finishing them. I have probably like 4 or 5 projects that I haven't finished, and that's because I just keep starting new ones without finishing the old ones. So I would like to stop that, and this challenge will hopefully help me with that. So getting back to the vest, where are we at? So I have it here. We ended with me sewing the side seams and shoulder seams of the lining. So today we're going to start with pressing them. All right, I have my board, and I'm going to press these seams. I think I'm pressing them open. Let me check with the instructions. What do they say? Press seam allowance towards the front lining on the wrong side of front piece. Nope. Backstitch at beginning and end. Okay. Seam. Press the seams flat. Press seam allowances towards the front lining. What about the princess or the side seams? What am I doing with the side seams? Press the pleats to the center. Press the seams flat. So this is press the seams flat. So that's what I'll do. All right. Cool. So I'm going to press this flat. Here we go. Let's back y'all up so y'all can see. I'm currently going live from YouTube and Instagram. All right, so here, this is my tailor's board. Is it? No, that's not. This is just an ironing board. This is my sleeve ironing board. And I use it. This is not a sleeve clearly, but I do use it for any seam that would allow me to, because it is smaller. I am working on my kitchen table. So this little ironing board just is, it's nice for this little space. All right, so we are pressing the seam open. And when we press, we try not to move the iron around, because that is ironing, that is not pressing. Does this need to be ironed? Yes, because she is so wrinkled. Not wrinkled, she's creased. I didn't press the fabric before. That's okay. I didn't press the fabric and get out all the creases beforehand, because sometimes I just be doing the action, because that's what needs to be done. Or else the action won't get done. All right. All right, so one side seam, just pressing the seam open. Oh, I didn't even start the timer. Yikes. I didn't even start the timer. Okay, let me do that. Set timer for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, counting down. All right, so we've officially started. Did an action without a timer, that's okay. All right. Going to press the other side seam open. So I think by the end of this week, which is today, I'll have my lining completely sewn together. Or Monday, tomorrow. Because today I project that I can press these seams and then sew the front and back facing pieces together. I don't know if I'll have the time to sew the facing pieces to the lining. If I stayed, I can stay and work on it, but I also have to do my financials, and I haven't been doing that. So I will probably just put it down and walk away and then finish tomorrow. So I think maybe tomorrow I'll be able to finish the lining. Which, again, farther than I would have been without this challenge. Oh, shoot. The instructions said flat and I opened it. It's okay, I'm not going back. The instructions said press it flat. Not open. It's okay, I'm not going back. It is what it is. It's mock up. I don't care. I do care. It's not going to break anything. It's not going to break anything. All right, let me press the shoulder seams. The seams of the shoulder. Okay. And it says press this flat also. I'm just going to open it because I'm going to keep it consistent with the rest of the vest. Such is life. Get the reverse side of the shoulder. Ooh, she looks so pretty. I love a good press. I love a good, nice, crisp seam. It's one of the most satisfying things about sewing. A nice, crisp, flat seam. Like, she's so beautiful. Can you see it? Can you see her? Nice, crisp, flat. So beautiful. And then add a top stitch. Ooh, that's my favorite. My favorite technique. Yep, I can go technique. My favorite technique in sewing is a top stitch. Nice, clean, parallel lines, contrast top stitch. Love it. I used to do it down in college. Every project had contrast. Almost every project had a top stitching. Almost every project had a contrast top stitching. Used to love it. It was extra work for no reason. Extra detail for no reason. Okay, let me press the reverse side of this one. Open her up. All right, so now I can get to the lining. Nope, this is the lining. I can get to the facing now. Okay, so those are together. Let me move the board. Let me move this before I burn myself. Stay. All right, so my facing pieces, I've already interfaced them. This is the back neck facing, and this is the front, what are you called? Front facing. All right. There are notches to match. Put this to the side, lay this out, and give you guys a better view. Bring y'all down a little bit. Bring you down a little bit. All right. So this is my back neck facing. And this is my front facing. I am gonna clip this just so it doesn't mess up my seam allowance. Or me viewing my seam allowance. Do I have to clip it? No, it just right now this morning makes me feel a little better. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. So I'm just gonna pin these together. Okay, you wanna make sure that you're sewing the right pieces to the right side, to the correct side. All right. Right sides together. Going to pin this. All right. All right, so that's pinned together. I'm gonna sew these up real quick. Just close my snippies. Move these pins to the side. I don't know what has happened to my pin container, and granted I haven't thoroughly looked for it, but I'm a little perturbed. I would like to know where it is, because I have all these pins on the table, and that's where things get kind of dangerous, because they fall off the table and end up on the floor, and we walk around barefoot here. All right, so let me do these. It's a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Turn the machine on, get my foot pedal in position. Okay, here we go. Hold the tails. All right. Did I change my thread color? No. Will I? When I get to the main pieces, yes, I will change it to the burgundy color. For the lining, I'm gonna keep it black. Are you pressed very well? I don't know. I don't know. All right, and then the other seam. Am I okay with this? So it's a little off. Do I fix it? Yeah, I'm okay with it. All right, so I'm gonna press these open really quickly. Or how am I pressing these? How do I press these? Press the seams flat. Press the seam allowances open. All right, that's what I will do then. Flat and then open is what they request. Flat and then open. I should make the iron hotter, but it's for 2 baby seams, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wait. Just going to hold there. Tell me that's not nice. Tell me that's not nice. Man. Tell me she's not nice. Tell me she's not nice. She's not that nice. I did go off a little bit. That's okay. The seam will fix that when I put it on with the lining in the front piece. That's the downside to me sewing early in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I am a very late night worker type person. So I care less in the morning. So much less. All right, press her flat. And now, it looks like my interfacing is lifting. Not okay. It's not okay. So I'm just gonna touch up my interfacing, remelt it a little bit. Cause why, girl? Why? 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 Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Why do you do me that way? All right, let me go and press this flat. Love it. Okay. Now the next step is to join the facing. Look, she looks like a front of her vest with the lining. So, yeah, just pin this. Pin this. How am I doing this? All right, I'm gonna start here. Right sides together. Matching notches. Oh, where's she at? Where's she at? Nope. This. Right sides together. We are right sides together. Yes, matching notches. Let me maneuver all these pins over here so I'm not reaching over and being rude. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to pin, 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 and pin. Pin, 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 and pin. All right, finding my notches. Uh-oh. What is that? Do I not have my notches marked on here? Do I not have my notches marked? Where is this notch? Oh, where is she? Where is she? Oh, you just came out. That was wild. All right, and then do I have you marked on this side? I do. Oh, that's why, because it's marked on the right side. All right, well. Whoopity whoop whoop. Okay, so let's do this again. All right, here's the lining. Let me get the back there. And then let me get this back. And pin right sides together. Center front. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. So many pins. Okay. Nope, that's wrong. This part needs to be pinned to it, not the neck. I was pinning the neck, which is not what I need. Where's this center? All right, there we go. That makes more sense. Up, there's the timer. I should really get it to where a timer beeps, so you guys know that I have in fact done my 15 minutes. So, see, it's going off. Timer's going off. Where's the facing piece? I am going to finish pinning this together. I need to mark my notch because apparently I didn't see fit to do that when I was marking all the other notches. Center. Or I did. I clipped it and then I interfaced it closed. So there's that. Let me stop talking bad about myself. I did what I was supposed to do. It was just closed by the interfacing. All right, matching my notches up. Okay, and then matching my seams. We love, love, love a good matching seam. And to execute this, I will put a pin in the middle of the seam. Make sure that lines up. And then lay down the flappies, the seam allowance. Lay down the seam allowance. All right, next notch. I don't know. Let me find the waist notch. Tell them that it's human nature. Why must you do me that way? Okay, let's pin these. Where is this notch? Where is the notch? Pinning and pinning. No, it said sewing is only actually 10% sewing. There's so many other things, so many other steps to do than actually stitching two pieces together. But it's just my iron going off. Okay, I need to look at these pieces. You are back piece to check it out. Here, not my front lining. I just had my front lining pieces. Let me see, because what is this? There are 3 things here. Are they all supposed to meet? Is this a pleat? What is happening? I have 3 notches right here, and I'm just trying to check if it's supposed to all like go to 1 notch on the lining side. Align the edges, pin, baste, and stitch the machine back to the right sides together with lining. It doesn't have any specific detail for that. Press the seam flat, press the garment, lining sides together, yeah. All right, I don't know. Let's see. So it has 3 notches here, and this thing only has 1 notch. So I'm trying to see. It looks like it's the bottom when they line up. But that is the top. So I think I am supposed to gather these 3. Okay. That could have been nice to call out. Just a little bit. Okay. Where are the notches? Here's a notch. Figuring this out, because what is that? Okay. Yeah, I think we're just going to stop at pinning today, because I got to pin the other side. And I don't want this to turn into an hour of you guys watching me pin stuff. Hey Steph. I am working on a Liliana vest. Just sewing along. I'm pinning, trying to figure out these notches. I've completely come to an end of the 15-minute challenge for today, but I'm still going. I would like to get to a good stopping point. and that might be it pinning this. So this is the notch I'm trying to figure out. It didn't say gather it, but it's also there. I'm going to pin the excess going downward, and I'm just call that that. It's now pleats. There's no gathers there. I don't know what y'all want me to do with that. So that's what I'm doing with it. It would have been nice for the instructions to talk about it, but hey. Okay, and so right now it looks like there's going to be more lining than, what is this? More lining than the facing, so I'm going to have to snip it a little bit to help me ease it in there so gathers aren't created accidentally. So I'm going to snip just a little. I don't want to snip to the seam allowance because that will make a hole in my garment or a hole at the seam. So just a few snips. These are also not fabric scissors, so. All right, and what I'm gonna do, I'm going to spread my top piece, my facing piece, just spread it open a little bit, and that'll help me get, use up some of that lining. Move these over. So if I pin the spread open a little bit, coming. It doesn't look like I snipped it enough, so I might have to do more snippies. All right, I think I'm gonna call it. So there's less excess here, but I'm gonna have to put more snips in it. So I'm gonna call it for today because I don't think you guys wanna watch me do all of this. Let me do this. But yeah, so I think tomorrow I'll be able to be finished with the lining. And I have to, I'll do it off camera, but interface the seam allowance or the seam line of the main front pieces. So I'll do that off camera so you guys don't have to sit through that. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to adjust this. I made more slits just so I can fit in all the excess seam allowance, not seam allowance, all the excess from the lining. This just helps my seam be smooth, because if I were to sew it as is, my lining would gather and bunch up underneath, would gather, pleat, fold over itself. So this helps me spread the facing pieces and use up all the lining excess smoothly. So just spreading that slit. And it's taking more pins just because you don't want it to move as you sew. All right, coming to the end of it, you see how there's less excess here. I was able to fit it all just by spreading a little bit. I'm not really need to find my pins though, because I don't have enough for the other half. So with slashing and spreading the facing pieces, the piece with slap, blah, 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 blah. With cutting the seam allowance on the facing piece, I was able to spread it open just a little bit at a time, and it took up all the excess of the lining. So, excuse me, now she's not gonna bunch and gather as I sew on. I'm gonna sew on this seam line and then I'll be fine, and I'll press it out and she'll be nice and smooth. No gathers, no pleats, no anything. So that is why we take our time and do that. So she's gonna be nice and flat. Still don't know if this is right with the little pleat at the bust, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna pin the other side probably, and then I will sew tomorrow in tomorrow's 15 minutes and press in tomorrow's 15 minutes if everything goes smoothly. Hopefully I can find my pins. I'll try looking for my pins because I really like when things are pinned together, and it's kind of like, it's a dark romance thing I like. It's like a, almost like a trap kind of. I don't know. It's one of my satisfying things of sewing. But I will pin the other side, and then we will sew it, and then we will have our lining fully complete after a week. Isn't that great? Like, look at this progress. Look at this progress. Okay. So that is today's episode of Chainstitch. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, guys, keep designing your best life.